Assalamu alaikum. I am Nilfar Yasmin. Hello, my dear students. How are you? I hope all of you are fit and fine. Welcome to my online class. Dear students, today I discuss with you Chapter 5 Agricultural Production. So, my dear students, in your last class, I discussed with you disease and insect pest control of pepper and tomato cultivation method. Today I discuss with you disease and pest control of tomato. So, my dear students, please take your agriculture book and open your book, page number 17. Okay, all of you ready to read? Let's focus on today's topics. Disease and pest control of tomato. Damping of disease. The bottom of the seedling is drenched with watery spores and gets rotten. Sometimes the root gets rotten and the seedlings dies. The soil is drenched with Ridomil gold and applied in the affected place. Now I discuss with you wilting disease. The plants wilt downwards any time and dies quickly in this bacterial disease. The affected plants need to be burnt on spot. The resistant variety are to be cultivated. My dear students, in your textbook, page number 70, you can see some of picture. Picture 1, which is wilting disease. Picture 2, yellow leaf curled disease. And picture 3, white fly. Now I discuss with you yellow leaf curled disease. The leaves get wrinkled from the edge of the midrib in this fungal disease. The leaves becomes dry, the veins get wrinkled and transparent yellow. The small leaves at the shoot of the affected plants become clustered. The small leaves at the shoot of the affected plants become clustered. To control this disease, the tomato field needs to be weed-free. Disease-free seedlings need to be planted and the affected plants has to be removed and burnt. Whitefly insects quickly spread this disease. To prevent fly insects, an insecticide named Admire is to be sprayed at an interval of 7 to 10 days. Now I discuss with you crop harvesting. Tomato starts to ripen after 2 months of seedlings transplanting. The duration of tomato is 120 to 150 days depending on their varieties. When the tomato becomes reddish in color, the fruit is collected by cutting the stalk. Production varies depending on their variety or seasons. The production is about 250 kg decimal in winter and it is about 80 to 100 kg per decimal in summer. So my dear students, here is a task for you. Plant yourself a tomato seedling in a tub or a yard. Nurse regularly and inform your teacher. So in these situations, inform your father or mother about the advancement. Now I discuss with you characteristics of cultivable fishes in Bangladesh. We eat one or another kind of fish every day. Fish is our very favorite food. Fish is one of the most important natural resources in Bangladesh. A lot of fishes are found naturally in the sweet water of our rivers, canals, marshes, ponds and lakes such as rui, katla, mrigal, shingi, puthi, kalisha, koi or climbing fish, chitol, boal, shrimp, etc. On the other hand, there are different kinds of fishes in the Bay of Bengal, a huge source of our saline water fish, such as hilsha, rupchada, loitka, coral, etc. But our quantity of production of fish is much less than people's demand. The demand of fish is increasing every day with the increase of the population of the country. So we can meet the demand by cultivating more fish. My dear students, in your textbook page number 71, you can see some of picture of fish. So some of the sweetwater fishes in Bangladesh. You can see first picture is rui, then katla, then kalisha, then magur, then shoalfish, koi or climbing fish, then shrimp, then boa, and then chital. And please turn over your page, and you can also see some of the saline water fishes in Bangladesh. Hilsha, silver butterfish, or Baramundi. Okay. Fish is a vertebrate animal. They breathe with gill and move with tail and fin. The body of the fish is fat and it is slim towards head and tail, so they can move easily and quickly in the water. Shrimp is an invertebrate animal. Shrimps live in water and they are delicious to eat. We cannot cultivate all the fishes in the pond that are found in Bangladesh. The local cultivable fishes such as rui, katla, mrigal, kalibaush, lobster and prawn are remarkable. Besides local fishes, some exotic fishes have been brought to our country or cultivation. These fishes are cultivated individually or with local fishes in a pond as mixed cultivation. Among the exotic cultivable fishes, there are Thai pangas, silver carp, grass carp, Thai shortputti and tilapia. So dear students, you can see a task. Make a list of cultivable fishes and present them in class. Now I discuss with you characteristics of cultivable fishes in Bangladesh. Though many kinds of fishes are found in Bangladesh, all of them cannot be cultivated in ponds. The fishes whose young ones are easily available grow quickly, have demand and fair price in market, are nutritious and tasty to eat are cultivated in the pond. Moreover, these fishes can digest efficiently the natural food of the pond and the supplementary food provided from outside. The main cultivable fishes in our country are rui, katla and trout. These are all riverine fishes, but they are very suitable for cultivation in the pond. Besides natural food, they eat supplementary food. They lay eggs in the flowing river in the rainy season. However, nowadays young fish or pona is hatched in the hatchery for the purpose of fish cultivation. Their physical characteristics are described below. So now I discuss with you rui. Its body, rui fish, its body is long, the head is comparatively small, the lip is swelled up. and there are many delicate wrinkles at the edge of the lip. The back is quite brown. The belly is light golden. It becomes 1 kg within a year. Now I discuss with you Katla. Its head is big. The body is white, amped up, big, subdued. The beak is high. The mouth is bent upwards. This fish grows very quickly. If they are properly fed, they can be 4 to 5 kg within 2 years. Miguel. The head is smaller than the body. The mouth is slightly downwards. The body is long. The lower portion is longitudinally straight. They have 2 pairs of small antennas by the 2 sides of the mouth. The exotic fishes that can be cultivated in the pond are silver carp, grass crab, tilapia, Thai shortputti, and their today cultivated widely. Their characteristics are described below. Silver carp, their river water fish of China and Russia. Their head is small, the middle portion is wide, the front and the back side are narrow, the scale is very small, the color of the body is glittering silvery, their mouth is bent upwards like the katla fish. This can be cultivated in the pond with the local cultivable fishes. Silver carp grows the quickest of all the exotic fishes that can be cultivated in ponds. Grass carp. They are also found in the rivers of China and Russia. Their body is quite long, the head is small, the color of the body is whitish and the fin is small. They grow quickly. Any grass or creeper can be fed during cultivation. Now I discuss with you tilapia. This is really most popular fish in our country. They have been brought from Thailand. Tilapia is very short and comparatively wide shape. The body is subdued and the color is grey-blue. They are rapidly increasing and delicious to eat. They are individually cultivated in ponds. They become edible within 3 to 4 months. Now I discuss with you Thai shortputti. This fish is also called royal putti or rajputti. The body color of this fish is bright silvery. The body is quite flattened. The head is quite small. They can be cultivated either individually or mixed cultivated with other fishes. They also become edible within 3 to 4 months. Okay, no more today. My dear students, you can see tasks. Present the characteristics of some of the cultivable fishes in a poster paper. So please do it. Do a poster paper at your home. Okay, no more today. Next class, I discuss with you nutrition and economic importance of cultivable fishes. Please note down today's homework. Okay. So, dear students, if you have any inquiry, please contact with me. Thank you.